So let's take a look at exercise 4. This should look familiar. We did this not very long ago when we were discussing GUI applications in class. This is an example of the graphics class capabilities as it relates to applets, and they're pretty much identical to JFrames. Let's take a look at the code, though, to see what's going on. I'm going to skip the HTML file. The HTML file is pretty standard, right? We have the code pointing to our compiled class file. We've got a height and width, and that's pretty much all we need. When we get into line demo, things get a little interesting. We're back to including the abstract window toolkit again. And the reason that we're doing that is because that's where the graphics class comes from. Remember that just because it's a Swing library doesn't mean it doesn't share things that are already pre-written that work well. Notice we don't have the initialize method, the init method in here. It's because we're not doing anything in it. We only need to override that initialize method when we want to change what it does. In this case, when we want to add components to our applet or anything like that. In this example, we're not adding anything. I couldn't see putting in the method just to leave it blank. We don't have to. It's one of those already provided for us methods that we can override. Similar to the paint method. Usually I tell you to call super.paint. And the reason I tell you to do that is so that any components that you have added to the window will get drawn. Same thing goes for an applet. You've got labels and text boxes in here, plus you want to do some of your own drawing. That is fine. You're more than welcome to do that. The only thing that I will tell you is you must make sure you call super.paint first. Or the problem you're going to run into is that it is not going to draw those things because you have overridden it. And so it's going to be your job to make sure they get on the screen. We don't want that. We don't want that to have to happen. We would rather let you do it yourself. Or we would rather let the application draw that stuff itself and then let you add your own stuff. But since I don't have anything extra on here, I'm not going to call super.paint. I'm just going to draw my line. Again, graphics class object dot draw line. The method names have not changed. Again, public void paint. That is the way the method is laid out. That is the way we have to put it in there. Otherwise, Java won't know how to call it. Draw line takes the x and y of the first point, x and y of the second point, and draws a line in between. It's that simple. It's that simple. That's all you've got to do. There's nothing else really here to add. We're going to look at the shapes exercise next. The shapes we'll do just regular drawn shapes, and then we'll clean things up, or we'll wrap things up with filled shapes. Again, not going to be very long walkthroughs because this is stuff that we've done before. We're just doing it in a new way now with a new while inheriting a new class. All right, you can move on to exercise 5. And again, feel free to email me if you have any questions.